What if we just did something that was fun for us?
Fun, yeah.
Maybe that's a little selfish, but I wanted to have a little fun.
Yeah, you said, well, what about like when we do like a mixtape episode? I'm like, you know what? I was actually thinking that same thing last night. I just didn't write it down. My bad, and something I need to work on. Writing things down will help me remember them. So I totally agree with you, and we should talk about some things that we're reading, listening, watching, and I think maybe learning, because that's fun for me.
Sounds good.
Let's dive into it. Welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm swell.
That's good.
Where do you want to start?
I want to hear about something that you're listening to.
I am starting to listen to one of the Hunger Games books. Is it Suzanne Collins? The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Is that the new one or is that the prequel?
I think it's the prequel.
Okay.
And I'm picking it up and listening to it when I'm doing some chores around the house. So I'm kind of taking my time. You know, I have like 3 weeks to get through it before I have to like renew it. So I'm dipping into that, and I'm probably at that point, like, you know how we talked before about, you know, how long do you give a book before you give up on it?
Right.
Like I'm not thinking of giving up on it, but it hasn't grabbed me to make me pick it up and press play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like I think that's maybe just because I'm taking it in smaller doses.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying it, but I don't think I'm to that. I think I'm really trying to say is I'm not even far enough to give it a fair shake yet.
Okay.
So it's fairly early on. For the most part, I'm enjoying it. I keep going back to it. I don't know what to listen to right now, and I'm like, oh, I have that book is in my Libby app, you know. So that's like one of the smaller things that I'm listening to right now. You want to alternate, and you want to share something, or have you listened to it or read it?
I have not. I was just surprised because I really enjoyed the Hunger Games series, and you said it wasn't quite grabbing you. I was like, oh, I thought it would grab me, but.
Well, I think it's just because it's so new, and it's like characters I've never been introduced to before.
And it's a prequel. Is that right?
Think so.
I think that's what Child 2 said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not trying to say anything. It's not like dragging or anything, or there's nothing off-putting about it. It just didn't quite, it's not pulling me along with it. But I think that might be just because I'm taking like little nibbles at it.
Yeah.
How about you? What is something you're listening to?
I listened to a book called Big in Sweden just a little bit ago.
Did you mention that in like the recommendations?
I don't know if I did.
Okay.
So I have been looking for books that take place in Sweden just because I'm interested in the culture and will be traveling there this summer. So
your ancestry, right?
Yep. And my ancestors are from Sweden. So I got this book. It was actually quite delightful. Big in Sweden. I don't know the author. I could probably look it up.
People can look it up. Or you can look it up real quick.
Yeah, you can. Y'all can find it. It was a cute book. I found that I have been gravitating more and more, probably in the last month, to mostly either books that are fiction and lighter, and music. I've been really listening to a lot of music as I've been doing a lot of driving. So LP, Michael Franti, Lizzo, The Flaming Lips, Green Day. I have a couple Apple playlists that I listen to, feeling happy.
You just listed off like 30 things.
Feeling good. Yeah, but I'm doing it because one thing I'm finding is I have been traveling quite a bit, being at conferences, driving to the western side of the state, the eastern side of the state. And so I've been trying to find things that keep me happy and are a little lighter. And so most of the things I'm listening to right now are happy, upbeat, something I can sing along to or just enjoy the story.
Okay, so can you share a few of the albums or songs? Are you listening to the albums or just select songs from these artists?
I am listening to all of the above.
Can you name a few to give people like some stuff to look up?
Yes. Okay. With LP, I've been listening to their most recent album, Love Lines.
That's
right?
the one we saw them on tour with, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you put that on in the car just the other day. Makes me smile, and I like it.
Yeah. Let's see. So Michael Franti is one of my favorites, just so positive. So I have been listening to an accumulation of his songs. One of my favorite records of his or albums is Follow Your Heart.
Okay.
He has a new album out, Welcome to the Family, which is also pretty good. So I've been listening to those. Lizzo, I love most of Lizzo's stuff, but I listen to Special. I like that album a lot. And then The Flaming Lips, this is going to sound oddly specific, but I like to listen to She Don't Use Jelly as the specific song. I really like it, as well as Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. I like that one too. But honestly, She Don't Use Jelly has been my jam that just puts me into a really positive energy space.
Yeah.
I was so late to the party on the Flaming Lips. I just realized that they were a thing this past fall. Yeah, this past fall. I saw them live in concert. They opened for Weezer. I had heard of them, but I didn't know how long they had been around. But talk about one of those things that should have been on your radar 20 years ago or even longer and just wasn't, because they were formed in 1983. I'm really late to the party.
Yeah, I don't know their stuff very well either, but if I hear it, I'll be like, oh, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
I think you were playing some stuff for me after you saw them. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are some of the things that I'm listening to. Green Day, any Green Day. I like it. So again, I've been leaning more and more towards less consuming of information in my free time and more putting things in my ears that elevate my mood.
Yeah.
That are a little lighter, that are a little bit more fun, that really focus on happy, positive energy and feelings.
Yeah.
That elevate my mood.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll share a few of the musical selections I've been listening to then.
Okay.
Bob Mould has a new record that just came out within the last couple months. Here We Go Crazy, the title track. We're actually going to go see him next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
Yes.
Easter weekend?
Well,
wait.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's Saturday.
Oh, I'm going to be tired. Okay.
It's on Saturday though. We'll be okay.
We got it.
Well, we'll see.
We're not hosting. It's all good.
So I've been listening to that and getting kind of familiar with it, but I still got a little ways to go, so I'll probably be listening to that more.
I love his Sunshine Rock. That's another one that just elevates my mood. Yeah,
that's a good one. Idols, they have a newer album out called Tank, Tangk. It's aggressive.
Oh.
It's intense, maybe, is a better word.
Would it raise my blood pressure?
Yeah.
Okay,
probably.
So I'm going to cross that maybe off my... I just wrote it down. I'm going to check this out.
It would be great to listen to for you, like if you were lifting weights or running or needing to like power through something. It drives. It's got drive to it. So, I mean, that's kind of like the newer music I've been listening to lately. And then I've been listening to Max Richter, a classical composer.
Okay.
Been listening to his collection. What is it? The Blue Notebooks. I just found that on the Apple's classical app. It's got some electronic music to it and a little bit of like avant-garde vocals here and there, or like electronic sounds. A lot of strings, and it's the type of strings that I would try to write in like composition class, or that my ear is drawn to. Just silky, rich, full 4-part string harmonies. And so I just put that or like all of his catalog on loop or shuffle while I'm journaling, or I had it on the other day, like all day in the background while I was doing some writing and stuff on the laptop. And I don't know if it's mood music, but it's just kind of there in the background that I can listen if I want, but it also is just so soothing that it almost disappears. It's like if it's dry in the winter and you feel better when the humidity comes on, right? You turn your humidifier on. It's kind of like that for me. It's like just adds a little extra humidity to the air. It makes you breathe easier, right? It makes your skin not feel so dry. So that's what I'm doing in the mornings, and then every now and then, like if I'm just having like a kind of a working session where I'm not listening to the podcast or something to edit. So I've been really enjoying that.
I like that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Any podcasts you've been listening to?
Honestly, I haven't been listening to many podcasts right now. Have you?
The one that sticks out is because I listened to it, I think on my way to Green Bay, was one of Mel Robbins' newer ones as of the release of this, was The Truth About Anxiety and ADHD with Dr. I think Tracy Marks. And it was just good because they talk about, identifying these things and, what you can do, tools and stuff. And so whenever I see stuff like that, I especially like on her podcast, or like say Rich Roll or somebody, or Tim Ferriss has somebody on that's talking about that, I tend to click and see like, okay, what do they have to say? Like, what tools can I gain, to help me, like what with those types of things. And so that's a little more like listening to learn and kind of inform myself. So the next one, and this might help us maybe transition into what we've been watching, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a podcast called The Detective and the Log Lady. It's a Twin Peaks podcast.
The Detective and the Log Lady, like a lady that takes logs in the forest and puts them in piles, or what's a log lady?
It's a lady that carries around a log.
Like an actual physical log.
She carries it around like it's a little baby, like cradles it in her arm.
Okay.
She's the town log lady.
Is that a thing?
In Twin Peaks it is.
Okay.
And so anyway, it's a recap podcast of that show, Twin Peaks, and it's spoiler free. So if you watch episode 1, you can listen to episode 1. And then you watch episode 2, then you can listen to their episode 2. Like they won't spoil anything that's going to come up. So I'm going to pivot here to what I've been watching. And I've been watching Twin Peaks. I'm really late to the party on this. I've never seen it before.
When did it originally come out? Do you know?
1990.
All right.
So it was created by Mark Frost and David Lynch. Okay. I think people kind of say like, oh, if that show was never on, if Twin Peaks was never on, we probably wouldn't have the X-Files. It's a mix of soap opera and kind of horror. I think you would like it. Okay. It's interesting to watch something that was made in the 90s.
Does it really
90s.
Look like the 80s?
The beginning does, yes. The hairstyles do, yes.
Oh, man.
But there's also like parts of the 50s in here, and it's some weird stuff. And I don't even know that much about it because I've never watched it. I've never really dove into it. I'm not diving into it because I don't want anything to be spoiled. All I know is the original series was only 2 seasons long. The first season that I finished is 7 episodes. The second season was renewed for 22 episodes and that was canceled. And then there's a movie, and then there's Twin Peaks: The Return. So there's stuff out there and I don't know about it, but I'm getting into it, and the podcast is a nice little companion to have with it. It's like having a book club, like a little club to watch a show with and listen to. So I've been enjoying that, and that's been just been kind of like a fun watch. So you might have to catch up with me. Half of the time I'm just kind of sitting there just laughing and like rolling my eyes at some of these characters, and just it's funny, it's creepy, it's kind of like what the heck is going on? Like
Can I be able to watch it alone if it's creepy?
Yeah, I mean some of it's like creepy, but it's like okay, yeah, but yeah, they're trying to be creepy, but it's not to me it's not like super gory. Like I can't do that.
Okay.
Or it's not yet because it was on regular TV.
Well, I'm interested to check it out.
I've got maybe one more, but I think you're probably going to talk about it.
Well, I have one more that is maybe more throwback, kind of like maybe not as far back as Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
But I have started to rewatch Arrested Development.
Oh, I think you told us about that.
I'm sure
I mean,
I
me and like
did.
whoever's listening.
Oh, but I forgot how good it is and who's all in it. I'm really interested. I kind of fell off watching it when I think it was Netflix made additional seasons. Was it Netflix or Hulu?
I think it was it was Netflix, and I don't think we ever finished like that
Mm-mm.
season.
I'm just excited to keep doing that. So I've been
Is
watching.
there a movie or something
I
too?
think so.
Did they like do a season in a movie, or are we just thinking? I don't
I think so. But it's a journey I'm on and I'm liking it right now.
know.
Okay, should we talk about the one that we're really enjoying right now?
Yeah.
I got a recommendation. I almost said a hot tip. It kind of is a hot tip.
Yeah, it is.
But a recommendation about a show on HBO Max called Somebody Somewhere. It is delightful.
It's so good.
It's hilarious. It's sweet. It's sad. You're rooting for the characters.
You're mad at the characters for being the way they're being.
Yep.
Then you're happy that they actually react like a normal human would,
Yep.
saying like, "Hey, I don't like that you just said that to me,"
Yep.
instead of just storming off. And there are the fair amount of storm offs, but it's usually after saying the thing that you really want to say.
It's something that you can just resonate with, I think. Or I at moments resonate with a show.
Absolutely. It's the sense of humor in the writing and all the different characters and the way that it's delivered by the actors is really good. It's good. It's the Duplass brothers, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know like all the actors' names, and like I don't always dive into all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't like looked at like, oh, who wrote that episode, who directed that episode. It's just a good show.
We'll probably rewatch it.
Yeah. And speaking of rewatching, I started rewatching Shoresy again, like the fourth season.
That was on my list too, Shoresy.
Yeah. I can always go back to that, it seems.
Both Shoresy and Somebody Somewhere have made us pause mid-season in Love is Blind.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty easy to do. Like for me,
It is.
Love is Blind is that guilty pleasure that we talked about where, yeah, let's put this on because I don't care if I fall asleep during it, you know, and you really don't seem to care.
I fall asleep during Love is Blind all the time. I think you rewatch the same 20 minutes multiple days in a row.
And I'm like, this is defeating the purpose. Like, this is supposed to be like a quick, let's get this one done and let's move on because we're waiting for the new episode of Severance to come back on, which we need to finish that.
I know. We have a whole bunch in the stockpile.
Yeah. I'm getting nervous that we're going to get a spoiler or something.
I know. I read something. I'm going to say this quick. It's not a
Spoil
spoiler.
anything.
I don't think it's a spoiler. But there was an interview with Adam Scott.
Yeah.
I almost said Adam Grant, and that was the wrong person. Adam Scott. He was doing interviews right now, right? Because of Severance. Somebody asked him a question about Parks and Rec, what his favorite episode was. Or I don't know if it was his favorite, but it was the one that made him laugh. And the whole crew or group was just cracking up at the read-through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember the episode. Do you remember the one where Leslie is going to a campaign over an ice skating rink and her and Ron Swanson keep falling down?
Okay.
We're going to have to go back. That's another one I'd rewatch is Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
He was just sharing how funny that was. And he really enjoyed the question about the show because everything is about Severance right now. But then at the end of the interview or the article, he said there was some fan theory. I think that's what it would be. Fan theory that Parks and Rec and Severance are connected.
Ooh.
I was racking my brain trying to figure out how, and he said there might be something to it. Now, that's a headline, not necessarily reality, but as we watch, now you know what I'm going to be tying it back to.
Interesting.
Even though they couldn't be more different.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to, like I mentioned, maybe we should talk about if there's anything like we're learning?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been learning anything lately?
Well, I would say yes and no. I mean, it depends on what kind of learning you're talking about.
Well,
So when you're saying anything I've learned lately, I feel like I've learned a lot at work. I just went to a conference for several days and learned a lot. I've been listening to a lot of our Wisconsin state legislator committee conversations. So I'm learning a lot, but it's really work focused.
Is there anything you've been diving into for fun to learn for enriching your life?
My life.
Aside from the work stuff.
Exactly. That's why I said it depends. So it's like, yes, I've been learning a lot there. From personal things, I really have been spending the last several weeks listening to music, listening to books for fun, watching Arrested Development or Somebody Somewhere with You. I will say the one thing that I'm starting to engage with is the book Bird by Bird.
Oh, and Lamont.
And Lamont. And
I feel like we're talking about a bunch of stuff we've already talked about over the last couple months, but that's fine.
So it's something that have been bringing this, and I don't know if you do this as well. But
carry a book around and never open it?
Yes, I have carried Bird by Bird to Seattle, to Whidbey Island, to Chicago, to western side of Wisconsin, eastern side. It has been all over the darn place. And I am on chapter 3. It kind of bums me out because it's really good. So the book itself is really about learning how to keep going and write and get better at writing. So that's what I'm working on as I'm going through the book Bird by Bird. That's something that I intend to do more with in the upcoming weeks. One of the chapters that I really liked was about starting to write from the beginning of your life and write everything you remember in kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And it's so overwhelming, but makes an incredible amount of sense to me. I want to give it the time and attention it deserves. And so I think that's part of why I'm pausing, is I haven't had large amounts of time or even an hour at a time to really dig into it. So I'm going to continue to engage with that.
I'm going to offer some unsolicited nudging.
Okay.
If you're going to start some exercises from it,
yeah,
don't make it too precious. Start where you're starting. You can always do another draft kind of thing.
You know, it's kind of funny. I pulled this quote. It's from the calendar you got me from Seth.
Oh, yeah.
It was a quote that I had in my planner here from March 16th, so it was a while ago. But it kind of speaks to that, I think.
Okay.
It says, are you working to connect the dots or merely collecting dots?
Yeah.
I put this in here because sometimes I do feel like I'm just collecting the dots and not actually connecting and doing something with them.
We just talked about one of the last episodes. I was being aware of how much I consume. And now that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm almost celebrating. Mm-hmm. Because I can't stop, but I do want to be more mindful about it. And we've talked about this quote that he used in the calendar.
Yeah.
I heard that from him a while ago. And it's just like, oh, right. Like, there's more to just collecting things. It's, okay, now what am I going to do with them? Mm-hmm. It reminds me of you get to the restaurant when you're a kid with your crayons and like the little placemat. Mm. And there's these dots, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you got to sit there and draw, and you don't know what it is until you finish connecting them all, right?
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's such a beautiful image in just a short little sentence, you know? So
yeah,
it's something like that. That's probably one I saved and put somewhere to like page back through and find it. So that's funny.
I have it and you have it too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
So I'm kind of, for the personal projects I'm working on, I'm going through Bird by Bird. How about you? What are you learning?
I'm working on reintroducing myself to the circle of fifths and all the key signatures. I was never that familiar with them because I didn't grow up reading music. So I never really needed to, I needed to understand what key I was in because they expected you to know it. But I could also always usually tell, if it starts on A or it ends in A, it's an A. That's kind of how I got through for a long time. And then after learning as much as I needed to, I haven't really used it. So I've been going through the circle of fifths and I've been picking a key. These are the sharps. This is how I write it on the staff because I'm interested in writing music. I want to be able to notate it. if I know the key, it means I know all the notes, which means I know the scales, and then going to move on, to the next one and then the next one. So it's something I want to know better because I also want the kids to know it better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun. It's fun for me to learn that stuff. And I guess it's kind of similar to you with it's just another form of writing.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of being able to communicate on the staff. And it's been a long time since I have. So I listen and watch and read stuff about music too. So that's another thing that maybe I watch is I watch quite a bit of educational YouTube videos for music, and I'll dive into the modes and stuff once I get through the circle of fifths here. But I take like maybe 10 or 15 minutes in the mornings and I write it out by hand and just trying to solidify.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really a trick. Like there's little tips and tricks to help you memorize, but a lot of that stuff, you just simply need to memorize it.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't worked on it too much in the last week, but before that, I was like every day in the morning as part of my journaling. You can see I'm writing D to D and F sharp and C sharp, and the one is a major triad, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is a perfect fourth, 5 is a perfect fifth, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished. Writing it out by hand, just trying to cement it. Anyway, I'm a nerd. Let's move on.
That's good.
Go to reading. Have you been reading anything? Like, I've been trying to lean into reading an actual physical book.
Mm-hmm.
Kindle counts for that too. But I tend to listen a lot, but I want to get back into that habit of like holding the thing and using my eyes to read.
Yeah. Actually, the only book that I have been reading is Bird by Bird. Remarkably Bright Creatures. I'm in the middle of, but it's been a little while since I read it. Since I was traveling for a conference, didn't have it with. You came down for a couple days.
Yeah.
And so I just haven't gotten it. Haven't gotten really into the pages so much. So
that happened to me with a recommendation from you that I finally picked up before I came to visit. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Ooh, I'm so excited for you.
Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think I wrote it down right. I have horrible penmanship. For somebody with such horrible penmanship, I should be a much better typer, by the way.
Yes, that's fair.
So I started it. I think I don't know if there's an introduction, but if there isn't, I've only read chapter 1. So I think I've barely been introduced to not Evelyn Hugo. Like, I'm guessing the main character is Monica that I've been introduced to. I don't know. I'm so right at the beginning. So I don't know what I'm getting into, but it grabbed me. Unlike the first book that I'm listening to, this one it's kind of annoying me that I haven't gotten a chance to get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference there. I'm excited to keep going with that. I think I'm going to have some time this week to read a little bit while Child 2 is doing state testing.
Ah, yes.
So I think I'm going to try to carve out some time to read.
Good.
While I'm waiting for that. And the only other thing I've been reading, my friend Owen McGran is working on the first draft of his book, Pen Hollow. He's been putting it up on his website and sharing the chapters as he's been finishing them. Call it like the shitty first draft.
That's from Bird by Bird.
Yep. And I haven't been great about following along as he's going, but he just finished the final chapter of it. I'm like, oh, I have to get back to reading this because it's about jazz in Pittsburgh in the 1940s.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those things where I am just looking forward to picking my iPad back up and reading it. So I'm excited that I'm like, oh, I've got half an hour. You know what I could do right now? Instead of wasting my time, I could go read like another section of the chapter in that. So
it's good.
I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm glad that he hit that milestone of like the first draft is done, and I think that's about it.
It's great. So maybe this upcoming week, you and I can both dig into our books that we're reading for fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to hear more about where you're at with yours. I think I'd benefit from reading more this week too.
I don't know. It just activates a different part of my brain that I think, I don't know if it just gets other pathways firing or levels me out or something, but I always feel good after I spend some time especially a novel, reading a good story
Yeah.
with interesting characters, and I think, honestly, I wish I planned this. It's the same with the other stuff. Like when we watch something, it's like the characters are and the story is just that's the reason we like it, except for the stupid guilty pleasure crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just realized I said the S word and I'm gonna have to put explicit on this.
Oh, that's all right. I'm glad you said it. I've gotten to that chapter. I just didn't want to say it.
I could have said crappy first draft, but
Yeah.
that's not
That's
as cool.
not what the book says.
That's not as cool. Okay. Well, that's probably enough recommendations.
Yeah. We consume a lot.
Yeah. But this is also like over time, right? Like you're still talking about reading The Remarkable Creatures.
Yep. And I've been working on that for
Yeah.
quite a while. But I might read a chapter a night.
Yeah.
A couple days a week. And so then it takes time.
Yeah. This is stuff that I think this is like high quality organic stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the one guilty pleasure stupid show that I don't even like saying the name of because I feel so guilty about watching it.
Love is Blind?
Yes.
I said it for you.
Oh gosh.
We do have to get back to it.
You can have a little sugar every now and then. Just make sure you brush your teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get out of here.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
I love you. But somebody asked him a question about Parks and Recs and what his favorite Parks and Recreation.
You can say Parks and Rec, not Parks and Recs.
That did sound kind of weird when I said it out loud. Okay, Park and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec. I got it. Parks and Rec. I said it right.